Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and this video we're breaking down The Last of Us Season 2. The brand new first look is now here, with it being a part of Max's upcoming show's trailer. Throughout this video, we're going to be going through it all and talking about the Easter eggs and hidden details in it. Obviously, we have to put a spoiler alert in as they're going to be taking a big swing. So if you don't want it ruined, what are you waiting for? Leave the video, because we're going to be discussing major parts of the game. Bit ashamed of myself there, if I'm being honest, but thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into the trailer.
Did you hurt her? Then what? What did you do?
I saved her.
Okay, so the teaser begins with a shot of Ellie from behind standing at the barn dance that kind of kickstarted everything. This scene was used heavily in the first look at E3, and it was one of the first things we saw of part 2. This even includes a shot from behind to introduce the scene, with them clearly paying a lot of attention to detail. So it makes sense to have it as one of the first things we see of season 2, but they've changed up the order quite a bit. I'm guessing that part 2 will be spread over 2 seasons, and this scene wasn't actually revealed until the end of the game. We hear about it quite early on though. I'm guessing they didn't want us waiting for an explanation of that night, because season 3, it probably won't come around until 2027. So here we're seeing it, and in the game we learn about what happened at it. It turns out that Ellie returned to the hospital and found out what really happened to the Fireflies. Since then, things with Joel have been frosty, and he's basically lost his daughter. That's sort of where I think the additional scenes come in, which I'll talk more about in just a bit. Either way, at the dance, Ellie ends up kissing Dina, and the bartender ends up calling her a slur. Joel steps in and smashes him like the like button, and we've seen another shot of this scene which was released online recently. This shows Joel standing at the dance with the lights behind him. Again, it's lifted right from the game, and that night Ellie and Joel have a heart-to-heart. She says that she doesn't know if she can forgive him, but she was at least going to try. Now Ellie knows that being immune is something that could draw unwanted attention, and we see her trying to cover her bite in the next shot. Not only did she pour acidic chemicals onto her skin to burn it, but she also covered it with a tattoo. This is partially done at this point, and I'm guessing it'll get filled in throughout the show, just like the game. Now next we see Catherine O'Hara, who probably left her son home alone when it all kicked off, eh? She's a brand new character for the show, and people were suspecting that she was a villain. However, I think this kind of teases what's going on, and I believe that she might be a therapist. Joel doesn't have anyone to talk to other than his brother, and the opening of part 2 has him telling him the truth. I feel like they're going to switch it to her, and instead have Joel going to her for counselling. Due to their dialogue, I'm guessing that she knows what happened with the Fireflies, and the only reason Joel would tell her is because of confidentiality. I feel like Joel will be just getting it all out to her, and he'll talk to O'Hara's character and tell her the truth. The show has also added in panic attacks for him, which he may be going to get her help with. Now let's just get to the point of the video, and that is that Joel gets killed by Abby.
Joel, please get up!
Holy what?
Spoiler alert, but we see the build up to this later on, but for the moment I just want to focus on this character. Tommy ends up running off to hunt Abby down, and Ellie ends up going after him. However, I think the therapist could be used as a way to tell Ellie how much he really loved her, and this will make her more focused on vengeance. Either way, we cut to Ellie in a bed screaming. This is a scene that isn't in the game, but I'm guessing that it's a nightmare from watching Joel die. Ellie suffered from PTSD, and we know that she'd often wake in the night in cold sweats, remembering what happened. Now this could also be at the Seattle hospital, and it may be her waking up after being captured. Also, I think the casting of Caitlin Dever is perfect as Abby because of how much she looks like Bella Ramsey. It took me a couple of seconds to confirm if this was Ellie or our first look at Abby, because they both look pretty similar. Ellie and Abby are of course similar sounding names, so they're clearly playing up how much the pair are supposed to mirror each other. And next we cut to the outer wall of Jackson with a crowd of people running towards it. Manning the wall is Tommy, with a character holding a sniper rifle. Tommy is a crack shot with this, and being a sniper is his signature style. In the game he takes Ellie sniping and terrorizes the WLF with the weapon. Now this scene of people running towards the wall is brand new for the show as well, with this not being present in the game. However, due to the snow, we know roughly when it takes place and can theory time when it's going to happen, right? So yeah, this clearly takes place earlier in the game where there's a massive horde moving through the area. Abby gets caught up in this with her gang located close by. On top of this, they're also hit by a blizzard, so you've got the environment and infected trying to kill them. Joel and Tommy are out on a shift with Ellie and Dina being on another. Abby gets chased by the horde, which then causes Tommy and Joel to intervene. Abby gets trapped under a fence trying to shimmy through, which is a scene that we get in the teaser. We also get horses running through the snow after it, with it potentially being Joel, Tommy and also Abby. The person at the front is a woman with brown hair, and as we know, Joel and Tommy rescue her and ride out on horseback. Now I think this group is way too big to be Abby's gang, but they could be people moving through the area. They may be chased by the horde and then quickly run to get refuge at Jackson. Though the way the teaser's edited makes it seem like Tommy may be pointing a gun at them, I think it's more likely that he's going to be pointing them at the horde chasing them. These people may tell him there's people out there, and this could make Joel and Tommy go and try and find them. Anyway, that's the theory. I'll stop doing that. On top of this, they could be adding in some scenes that were originally intended to be in part 2. We know from what the creative team have said that Abby and her gang were originally going to infiltrate Jackson. They would then spend a couple of days in the town, scoping it out and finding out who's who. They decided to cut this down and have it so it was just Joel and Tommy finding Abby, which then led to his death. Potentially though, the gang may slip in with a bunch of people who were chased to the town by the horde in the area. Not too sure, but from this point we cut to the Seraphites who are running through a forest at night. This looks like the scene in which Abby first meets Lev and Yara, and they have to sprint through the woods while being chased by the infected. The three are both tied up by the scars, which is another nickname for the Seraphites. They manage to escape and then run through the woods, but there weren't any Seraphites that tried to chase them down. The first season cut out many scenes with the infected, and often had moments where it was the humans instead. I feel like that might be the case here, or we could get some additional moments where we see things with the scars. Now next we cut to Dina holding a lantern before we see Ellie then blasting away with an assault rifle. From here we go to a snowy mountain, which I think may be where we're introduced to Abby in the game. Now from here we jump to Isaac, who's played by Jeffrey Wright. Wright played the character in the game, and it's so good seeing him brought into the show. Isaac was the leader of the WLF, but Abby ended up going AWOL when she met Lev and Yara. They were scars who Abby found common ground with, and Abby ended up turning on Isaac. She really switched teams, and if you want to switch clothes, then check out our merch store right below the video. We've got our Last of Us inspired Real Fun Guy t-shirt on there right now, and it all goes towards helping videos like this get made. So thanks if you picked one up. Anyway, from here we go to the train station where Ellie and Dina are chased by the infected. You have to get to one of the train cars, and then you close the door behind you, which is when a clicker bangs against it. That's exactly what's happening here, with it being ripped right out the game. Lastly, we have Joel saying, "I saved her," showing he's still trying to justify his actions. Joel saw himself as doing the right thing because he couldn't bear the pain of losing another daughter. I know there's a crowd out there that think the Fireflies wouldn't have been able to make the cure either, and yeah, it's a very complex ending that I think you have to go into quite in depth. Personally, if it had been my kids, I probably would have done the same thing, and yeah, I love how we're diving into the character's decision more with these additional psychological looks. So yeah, lots of things to look forward to, and that's the video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed going through it. Please drop a like, and if you want to support the channel as a member of the Spoiler Society, then please click the join button. You'll get early access to videos every week, and it goes a massive way towards helping us out. Again, we've got our t-shirt line located just below the video, and you can pick up all kinds of tops like our House of the Dragon ones, Theory Time ones, and of course our Last of Us one. If you're in the mood for some other HBO stuff, then definitely check out our House of the Dragon breakdown, which will be linked on screen right now. We talk about all the things in the finale. It's one of our best and longest videos, so if you need something to fall asleep to, then that's the breakdown for you. Without the way, a huge thank you for sitting through this video. I've been your host Paul, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.